listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. Okay, everyone, are you ready for my top 10 tips for manifesting money? That's what we're covering today. Although if you're interested in manifesting something else, these tips will apply to that as well. But I'm going to be speaking specifically on the subject of money as we go through these. So the first one is, this one is important. It's to drop the need for it. And I know a lot of people are going to get hung up on that one as soon as they hear it because it feels like you can't drop the need until you have it, but it can't come until you drop the need because need is a vibrational instruction that says I don't have. So it literally blocks the money. We've got to find a way to feel differently about it. You know this, feeling the lack of it and feeling the abundance of it, those are totally different money vibrations. And you know which one lets the money in and which one blocks it. So we've got to find a way to stop feeling the lack or the need for it. Even people who have money still sometimes feel the need for more. It's kind of crazy. And there are easy ways to do that, to stop needing money. In fact, pretty much the rest of this list will help you do that. So we'll move on to those. But just keep in mind, each one of the things that we practice on the rest of this list, it will help close that vibrational gap. Starting with my number 2 tip for manifesting money is to make peace with your present financial situation. Resisting your current state of money affairs, it just perpetuates it. It keeps you stuck in it. The more you don't like it, the more you don't want it. It's like digging an even bigger financial hole for yourself. So we've got to find a way to let it be okay that we are wherever we are. And I think that helps when we stop telling the scary story of it and maybe remind ourselves that this is just temporary. At least it'll be temporary when we can stop pushing against it. The trick I like to use for myself whenever I'm resisting something that I don't want is to remind myself what really does matter so that this thing that I think I need to have before I can have peace of mind, it puts it in its proper place and it doesn't take over my whole focus. So finding some way to make peace with the present, and it might just be deciding that it's okay for a minute. You don't have to decide that this is okay forever, just for a minute. That's all it takes to switch the vibration and let something good happen. My 3rd tip for manifesting money is to skip the middleman. Stop making money responsible for how we feel. We've talked about this before. It isn't really the money that we want. What we really want is what we think that money will do for us. Whatever that is. If you can identify what that is and give that to yourself now, then you have bypassed the requirement for money to have what you want, and that makes you a better match for the money. So whatever you think it's going to do for you, peace of mind, that's why a lot of people want it, just to be able to relax about it. You know what? Peace doesn't come from money. If you've ever known anyone with money who's going crazy trying to manage it, if you haven't, I can tell you that happens. Money doesn't automatically bring peace of mind. It can't. Peace doesn't come from money. It comes from releasing whatever worry thoughts or whatever thoughts were clouding your peaceful mind. That's on you, not on money. So you can clear up that worried state of thinking with, a meditation session or even just 3 deep breaths can kind of clear things out. Or if you think money will bring you happiness, do or think something that's going to activate happiness for you. I know what I would do. I would go downstairs and play with the kittens. Or maybe you think money will bring you relief. Look, we know what brings relief. It's taking off a bra at the end of the day or changing into pajamas. It's blocking that robocall that keeps calling you during dinner, or it's answering that email you've been avoiding handling. You know how to give yourself relief without requiring money to show up in order to feel it. That's good. Remember the red Ferrari guy? He wanted to manifest money for freedom. That's what he wanted. remember Sharon Wilson was his coach, and she said, why do you want to double your income? And he said, because I want to buy a red Ferrari. She said, why do you want a red Ferrari? She kept asking why. It was freedom that was at the heart of it. So his homework was to go find ways to feel free, and he slept naked, and he finger painted with his toddler, and he didn't wear underwear to work. Those were his ways of activating the vibration of freedom. And he not only doubled his income, he made his annual income in 1 month. I've told that story before as a really cool example of what happens when we stop waiting for money to show up in order to feel how we want to feel. So, I don't know, you think money is going to bring you a good time? Find a good time somewhere else. Ooh, I know, opening up a bag of catnip for the kittens. Or if I look at the photos of the last litter of puppies, that'll do it. Or calling my friend for an update on his life. Oh my gosh, that's always a good time. My point being, don't make money responsible for making you feel better. You can feel whatever you think money's going to do for you by just getting a little creative with it right now. And that is a party that money loves to show up at. Okay, that was my third tip. The fourth one is, act as if you already have the money. You don't have to actually have money in order to vibrate it. It's what imaginations are for. So when we can find a way to vibrate what we want, it sends the signal to the universe that we've got it. And guess what it has to do in response? It has to deliver what we're vibrating. And that includes money. You could think of this as like Nevilleizing your bank account. When I say act as if, you can conduct yourself like a person who has money instead of being the person who doesn't have money. That's who you've been being. You've been being the person who wants more or needs more. Something like that. If you stop being that person and be the person who already has it, that's a vibration changer, and that changes everything. And that, in order to act as if you have money, you know where some uncreative people get stuck? They think, how am I supposed to act as if I had money because I don't have any money to spend? The only way to act as if I have it is to go out and spend it. No, there are plenty of ways to act as if you have it. That doesn't require spending it. It's the way you walk. You got a little more swagger or a little more skip in your step, a little more saunter. You drive differently. Maybe you drive more relaxed, or maybe you're more assertive in traffic. I don't know. You probably talk differently when you have money versus when you don't. Maybe you laugh easier. Maybe you are more generous in your conversations. I don't know. You got to discover those differences, and you can start being that person or acting as if it's already done for you. It's a cool way to get your money vibe on even before you have any, and it's a magnet for calling more in. Okay, my fifth tip is, to get money relationship therapy. So, paying attention to your relationship with money, it's important, because if you can notice where you're treating it in a way that is keeping it from showing up for you, you can change that, and just changing your relationship with money will require it to show up for you in abundance. So here's what I'm talking about with that. Like, think about the way that you speak to it, that you handle it, that you think about it. Like, are you speaking to your money in a kind and appreciative way? Do you think of it with generous, appreciative thoughts? Or do you treat it like a necessary evil that you don't like having to deal with? In fact, this is making me think of a guy I just talked with who suggests that we treat our money the same way we do our human love interests. He was talking about how we love them when they show up, when we're your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your husband, your wife. When they show up, we love them. And when they leave, we love them, right? When they walk through the door, oh, so nice to see you. And when they leave, oh, I love you so much, right? We're good to them when they come and go. We love them when they call us, and we love them even when they don't. We love them when we see them in person, and we love them when we don't see them. We're just loving them up on a regular basis. Versus with money, think about how conditional many of us are about how we express that love, if we express it at all. It's like, oh, yay, you're here. You're here in abundance. So cool. And then when money's leaving in abundance, it's like, boo, I don't like it like that. I don't like seeing you like this. It's so conditional. And the things we think about money, if you listen to the thoughts that you think about your cash or your finances or your bills, you probably hear some very repellent thoughts. Things like, I really look forward to the day I never have to think about you again. Is that something you would say to a loved one? I hope not. Hope not. Yeah. In fact, I know a lot of people who are trying to manifest money in order that they never think about it again. That is not that's trying to manifest something out of resistance. That's resistance to what you don't want rather than out of desire for what you do want. And that vibration isn't clean. It isn't cool. It's not helpful. We can get better than that. So when you get straight and healthy in your relationship with money, it will love you back. And there are all sorts of fun ways to do that. If you just think about how you treat and think and speak to someone that you love, and then notice how you treat and think and speak to your money, and close whatever gap you notice. That can be your money relationship therapy. Okay, my 6th tip for manifesting money is, this might not seem related to you, but it is directly, intimately related, and that is to be good to yourself. I just want to let that sink in. I mean, self-love. Universe can't be good to you if you aren't being good to yourself. Universe is taking its cue from you. So when you treat yourself well, it can do the same. And if you don't know how to receive the good stuff in life, you might be repelling money without even realizing it. This is one reason why I offered that Ultimate Receiving Challenge on Facebook. It's just to help teach us some really basic receiving skills, like how to receive a compliment, how to let someone help, how to treat ourselves better. We have some fun practices there. You could join us at goodvibechallenge.com to sign up and start getting those video tips and the Facebook group link. Okay, my 7th tip is to use a money manifesting exercise or technique. These are always fun, but it's just one way. There are a whole bunch of other ways. And if we just eliminate our vibrational obstacles, we don't have to do any of these money manifesting techniques, but sometimes these are fun to play with. One of the most common ones, we hear this all the time, that's to tithe it or to give money away in order to activate the feeling of abundance. That only works if it actually makes you feel like you have an abundance and can be generous with money. If it activates something else, or if it just reinforces vibrations of trying to manifest money, it's not helpful. So that's why it doesn't work for everyone. But if you can give it away with that vibration of plenty and generosity and appreciation, then that can serve you. Another money manifesting technique, I'm not going to have an exclusive or an extensive list here. That's a separate podcast in itself. But another fun thing to play with can be giving pre-thanks for the money. A lot of times we wait for it to show up before we celebrate it. You know what? You can celebrate it in advance, and that'll bring it right on in. You can journal it in your Pray Rain journal. You can visualize it, imagination, that's what it's for. You can activate the vibration of it. We talked about Red Ferrari guy. You can affirm it, one of my favorite affirmations. Holy shit, I make a lot of money. I actually had to say that again the other day. Okay, this is a little sidetrack. I was doing my taxes, and a lot of my income is reported on 1099Ks. And I hadn't been looking at them as they were coming in. I was just sticking them in a file for when I was going to do taxes because I refuse to think about taxes throughout the year. I just save it for the day that we file. So I open up the file and I'm looking at those 1099Ks for the first time. Each one was like a kind of amount that seemed like this, I should only have one. It should be this. This should be all of it. How am I having all these different 1099Ks with these big amounts on them? I was like, this has to be a mistake. This can't be right. This has to be double reported somehow. And I was like, how is it possible I made this much money? And then I remembered, I've been affirming all along for quite a while. Holy shit, I make a lot of money. I was like, yep, you're doing it. Okay, so another fun money manifesting technique might be to, if you don't already have a money dance, make one. Hello. Oh my gosh, Reverend Ike. Have you ever listened to Reverend Ike's Calling in Money? I wonder if you Google it, if you can find it. It's hilarious. It's super short. It's just like, not even a minute. But, that's funny. Lady Gaga, she'll help you sing it in too. Anyway, there are lots of money manifesting techniques. We'll cover more of those in a different episode. But for now, that is one way that we can call money in. One of my other tips for letting money in is to watch your language. We've got to stop speaking it away. Think about the story that you tell about money. That's what you're manifesting. If you keep talking about what is, it's not going to be any different. So you've got to find a way to tell a better money story, even before it's any better. That's what makes us conscious creators. Remember, we're willing to get ahead of it. We're willing to get in front of it. So if you're talking about it like there isn't enough, or you're speaking about it like you need more, I'd really strongly invite you to retire those old versions and find a way to improve it. I'm thinking about, like, instead of saying something like, oh, I cannot even believe how broke I am, you could tell it different. Oh, in fact, the extreme version of it is like when Mike Dooley would get a big bill that he didn't know how to pay. He'd feel himself gulping as he was opening the mail. And then he would say, it's a good thing I'm rich. He wasn't rich at the time. Not when he said that. He was just willing to speak it different than it was. But you don't have to go that extreme with it if that feels hard to say. Although, hello, it's really fun. You should at least try it before you dismiss it. But even if you just tell a softer version of being broke, like, it'll be nice when there's some more breathing room here to enjoy, or maybe something more general, like it's probably not as bad as I'm making it out to be, or it's going to be okay. Everything always works out. I don't have to figure this out right now. There are all sorts of versions of thought patterns that can help soften it and start to remove the momentum from not having any and allow you to make room for some money to start accumulating. So just watch your language. That's my 8th tip. The 9th one is you can appreciate the money that you have right now. Abraham tells us the best way to get money is to appreciate the money you've already got. And for anyone who thinks that you don't have any money right now, you can appreciate money you've had before, or the money that you see around you, even if it isn't yours, or anything else that helps activate a sense of abundance. Doesn't even have to be money. You could be tapping that vibration of abundance in other ways. But the bottom line is that giving thanks for money, however, wherever you can, is a nice way to call it in, because when universe gets that signal from you, it has to send more. I love, love, love that quote from the morning coach who was talking to bloggers at a blogging conference about those who were complaining that they didn't have anyone reading their material. And he said, look, even if you've only got 12 readers, love your 12. Look what Jesus did with his 12. That's the power of appreciation. It will appreciate. Love expands. So love what you can. And you'd be surprised how many people are making up the story that they don't have enough money. I think I did a podcast a while ago on inoculating ourselves against money scarcity thoughts, because they kind of run rampant in our society, where it's really easy for people to get caught up in that type of thinking. We get entrained to it because so many others are engaging those thoughts. They get some serious momentum, but opt out of those. They aren't serving you in any way, shape, or form. Because I know people with amazing amounts of money who tell the story that they don't have enough money. I've been that person. Remember, I told the story about how it was when I was a new landlord. I wasn't a brand new landlord, but I was renting to strangers for the first time, and I was kind of nervous about it. And my ex-boyfriend had hooked me up with this couple. They were going to do dog rescue out of the house. I was so excited for them for that reason. Anyway, they got in there, and the first couple months of them paying rent, they were just depositing directly to my account because we used the same bank. Went really smoothly, but I think it was like the 3rd month. They didn't pay. And I was like, everyone told me this is the thing about being a landlord. It's no fun. You got to track. It was happening just like everyone warned me it would. And I called my ex and I said, sure enough, guess what? I don't have their rent. I don't know if I was that dramatic about it, but I probably was. And he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'll call and talk to him. And he called them. Then he called me back and he's like, they said they paid. He's like, are you sure that you don't have it? I'm like, of course I'm sure. I've been looking every day since the beginning of the month. And we were like almost 2 weeks in. I'm like, it's not here. And he says, okay, I'll let him know it didn't arrive. Then he called me back and he's like, they have a transaction confirmation. Are you sure you don't have it? And then that time I looked up, I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't have it. But instead of looking up my account with the fear or the knowing that there was going to be a problem renting to strangers, I looked up with the vibration of, could I be wrong? And sure enough, it was there the whole time. That money was there the whole time, and I didn't see it because my vibration blinded me to it. I'm not the only one who does this. Remember what Abraham says, every moment contains everything. I know you might be this isn't true for most of us. This will just be for the people who are looking for money manifesting tips, who are visiting this podcast for the first time, and they probably don't recognize any of the stories I'm repeating the short version of because you haven't heard anything else. But I'm inviting you, instead of looking at your reality as if the money weren't there, try looking differently. You know that exercise when you look at the stadium of people and they invite you to look at everyone who's wearing a green shirt. And when you look, sure enough, you can see a bunch of green shirts. And then they say, now look for everyone who's wearing a white shirt. And when you look for white, you see a whole bunch of white. No matter what we look for, that's what we see, because that's how it works. It's our focus that is creating our reality. So if you could look with different eyes, have eyes for the money, the presence of it, the abundance of it, instead of the lack of it, you will see something different. It's really cool when that happens. Okay, my 10th tip for manifesting money. You might laugh at this one, maybe even be a little frustrated, but sometimes the best thing we can do is to forget about it. Honestly, when we've got our financial panties in a twist, sometimes the best thing is just to get off the topic altogether. Give it up, walk away, let things work out while you're out mowing the lawn or taking a nap or doing something completely different. Because if you consistently come to this topic with a needy or fearful or lacking vibration, and you're not having any luck upgrading it with any of the other tips or the money manifesting techniques, then the best thing you can do might be nothing. Just let it go. Find something else to distract yourself with or something enjoyable to occupy your mind, and then don't be surprised if things take a turn for the better once you really, truly drop the subject. I only ask people to do that if they have no luck turning their thoughts around, because sometimes the more we work it, the more we dig in, and some people don't even realize when they're doing it, but the results will tell you. So if you've been working this for a while and not getting results, my best advice is leave it alone. You've been getting by this long without any change in your circumstances. It's not like you've got anything to lose, right? Letting it go. We all know the power of giving up or throwing in the towel. I know that's kind of frustrating that we have to get to that point before things turn around, but we've had that experience enough times to know that it can serve us. You can trust it to relax. All right, so I hope you got some sort of inspiration from this episode, which is brought to us by Kaylin, who writes, I love the way this podcast makes me feel. This is a good vibe podcast, he writes. I love the practical tools that Jeanette shares for raising your vibration, and not only do her stories illustrate her concepts really well, they get you laughing with joy. When I'm in need of a quick pick-me-up, I know that I can listen to one of these short, fun episodes and feel better immediately. Thank you so much, Kaylin, for saying nice things and for listening. I sure appreciate it. Same to all of you who are tuning in for this. It's nice to know that there's someone out there appreciating these recordings. Thank you so much, and happy manifesting, everyone.